This is Tillman's Take, and today we're going to talk more about the state of the NFL and things that the NFL needs to do to improve regarding their viewership. And as I mentioned on my last show, their viewership is down 16.5 million this year from last year. Even though the advertising and revenue is up, the viewership is down. First, I want to talk about the players dealing with the NFL, baseball, basketball, but in particular going back to the NFL. We know that, excuse me, it's very important that sports figures manage their money very well, because if they don't, they could be bankrupt in 2 to 5 years after leaving their particular sport, and then they, we hear in many cases, they end up bankrupt. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying things that one likes to have, but think about this, you NFL fans and sports fans in general. Many buy exotic cars. If you only got 2 or 3 drivers in the house, what do you need with 6 or 7 cars? You can only drive one car at a time. Now, keep in mind, you can pay all those cars off in cash because you made good money, but what about the car insurance on all those cars you have, such as Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, Mercedes Benz, Lexus? The list goes on and on. What about mansions, living in multiple homes, having 2, 3, 4 homes? Yeah, you can pay all them off in cash, but once again, you got the house insurance that you have to pay every year. So you can only live in one house at a time. Maybe 2 houses the most, but 1 or 2. Get what you need in those houses. You may like a pool. You may like a bowling alley. You may like a indoor movie theater. Whatever the case may be, get those things in your house when you first buy the house. When you first buy the house. What about other things that sports figures, NFL players like that wastes money? They like to wine and dine, going out eating all the time, buying expensive jewelry, going to the strip clubs and paying a whole bunch of money to go at the strip club. What about sports figures who gamble? All these things eat into one's financial resources, including those that are making good money. You'd be surprised how millions and millions of dollars can fade away very quickly. Yes, whether it's a player that's male or female, one has to learn how to manage his or her money while playing in their particular sporting craft that they play in. We have area taxes. Excuse me again. Some places in the United States are higher in taxes than others, but know what your taxes are. Pay your taxes. What about be your own CPA? Nothing against CPAs, certified public accountant, but some of them will rip off sports athletes, and the athletes don't even know about it because they don't check their accounts on a regular basis because they're so busy into playing a particular sport and perfecting their craft. Be your own CPA. Give you an example. Oprah Winfrey. I heard that Oprah Winfrey signs all her checks. Yeah, she signs all her checks. Why don't you NFL players, baseball players, basketball players, sign your own checks? Be in control of your own money. See, you'll know what's going on with regard to your money. So in other words, save money while you're playing the game of football or basketball or baseball. So that's my thoughts on money management, whether you be in the NFL, whether you be in Major League Baseball, basketball, whatever the case may be. Also, we're going to talk about other things right now, such as salaries and different things of that nature. Once again, the NFL is going to have to come up with some type of pay scale with regard to quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, corners, free safety, strong safety, because the salaries are outrageous. They're ridiculous. They're getting out of control. Now, I'm going to use an example. A good friend of mine said this. If you go to Starbucks, you don't see somebody getting paid $200 some an hour to make coffee, do you? No. Do you see somebody at Wawa pumping gas making $200 per hour? No, that's ridiculous. If that was the case, then Wawa wouldn't be able to pay, Wawa or Starbucks wouldn't be able to pay all their other employers if a coffee maker or a gas attendant was making that type of money per hour. Well, what's my point? The point is, in the NFL, players are getting paid way too much money than what they're worth. You have, in NFL, you have a 53-man roster. And as I mentioned, the different positions. Yes, the NFL has to come up with a pay scale regarding all the different positions on offense and defense. Get rid of the salary cap. You heard me. Get rid of the salary cap because it's doing nothing but hurting the NFL. Will players like it? Absolutely not. But they need to get rid of the salary cap and come up with some type of pay scale regarding the different positions in the NFL or some other idea to pay these players. Do you NFL fans want to see the league to continue to prosper and continue to thrive now and into the future? Or is it about with these players, me first, I want it now, I want my paper now? No, you should be thinking about the league now and in the future as well. Also, I think about head coaches. Head coaches are getting paid big money. For example, I know John Gruden just signed a nice contract with the Raiders. I don't know what the exact contract is, but I know it's a nice contract that he signed with the Raiders. I think it was for, I want to say somewhere between 4 to 6 years. But the point is, the NFL is getting out of hand with these salaries and the way they're paying players. But also think about the owners. The owners, it starts with them. Also, too, the NFL wants the players to be more involved in different things regarding their view on what's going on in the NFL. I personally think what a problem is with the NFL is that they want to be too businesslike. I use an example. The common people, you and I, we pay good money to go see these games. And fans want to see a good game, but also they want to be entertained. They pay good money for their tickets. But then when it comes to celebrating, as far as the rules of the NFL, it's like they don't want them to celebrate. I understand that they should be able to celebrate, but not with the view of taunting another player. The league needs to review the rule regarding celebrating. Like, I'll give you an example. Some years ago, I remember like it was yesterday, Terrell Owens, he was playing with the 49ers at the time. It was a game that they were playing against the Cowboys. He scored a touchdown, and then he ran from the end zone all the way to the 50-yard line to the Dallas's logo, the star, and posed right in their end zone, right in their star logo. And one of the Cowboys players pushed him right out. That was blatant disrespect, taunting the Cowboys team. Now that's taunting. That's unsportsmanlike. That is a good rule. In other words, that rule applied to that particular situation. But the league needs to review the rules regarding celebrating, whether it be head concussions, whether it be illegal use of the hands, face mask. That's another one where if a guy grabs a man's face mask temporarily and he lets go, it's still a 15-yard penalty. It's not a 5-yarder. I think the old way it used to be, if you grabbed the face mask and held on to it, it was 15 yards. But if you just grabbed it temporarily and let go, it was just a 5-yard penalty. So the NFL has a lot of work to do. The NFL Players Association, I think his name is DeMaurice Smith. He had a lot of views that he shared with ESPN. There was an article there. Look on ESPN News and you'll see that article there. And some points I agree with, some points I didn't, but especially the fact that these players think they're divas. They think they deserve to be paid all this top money. Well, common people work every day, and we won't even see that money in our lifetime. These players need to be responsible with the money that they make and manage their money well. Yes, I said it. They need to manage their money well. So this is Tillman's Take. I'm going to come to you tonight or tomorrow with another segment of Tillman's Take, more talking about the state of the NFL. Also hit like and subscribe to Tillman's Take. And also in that article, the Maurice Smith, if I'm pronouncing his first name right, he's going to analyze not the NFL, but the Major League Baseball and NBA to see what's making them thrive and see where they're doing well in revenue and advertising and compared to their viewership as well. So I'm sure he's going to take different thoughts and ideas from what Major League Baseball and the NBA is doing. So keep an eye on that. And there's a lot of things going on in the NFL in the off season that the Players Association has to do in making the NFL a better league and having it thrive now, but in the future as well. But sad to say, some people don't care about the future. They're only thinking about getting their money, their paper now. But this could just, by one's attitude, whether it be head coaches, players, owners, they could be destroying their own game. Your own game. So this is Tillman's Take. And once again, I'll talk to you tonight or tomorrow with another segment of the State of the NFL. I'm out.